Welcome to this segment of 7 markets that you should be selling apparel to. This time we're going to focus on community events and festivals in your local area. From 5Ks and marathons to local festivals like music festivals or food festivals, there are a ton of community events that happen in and around large cities and even small towns. This creates a great opportunity for selling apparel and different accessories to these different events. To get started, create a calendar for these events that are going on in your local area, develop some pricing and packaging to sell to these events, and get ahead of the competition by bidding for event apparel or even looking at new revenue streams to bring into the event and to your business. Let's talk a little bit about the profit opportunities. The first one is going to be the most obvious, and that's printing apparel for the event itself. These are those free t-shirts or free bags that are given away when you attend an event, and they tend to be part of the ticket purchase when you're purchasing for this event. So when it goes to selling after this market, to start making sales calls to these events is never early enough. So even if the event just ended for this year, you want to go ahead and give them a call, congratulate them on a successful event, and start getting your foot into the door for next year's apparel sales, because they tend to start making decisions early for a lot of these local events, especially if it's a walk or a run that happens annually. In addition to this, when they're purchasing products or looking at suppliers, there's a few things to consider. Price and value are always really important whenever they're looking at the garment itself and what they're charging. This is a cost to the actual event itself if it's going to be a part of the ticket, so having something that's a lower cost but still a good value is going to be very important, and we'll talk about that in garment and transfer selection since this will be a mass production type of capability. The other thing to consider when they're ordering is convenience and ease of ordering. So the person who's ordering the apparel for the event tends to be having a lot of different hats, so they'll have a lot of different jobs to take care of. Selling apparel or ordering apparel and also packaging it and putting it out to the members who are participating is not going to be a huge key for them. So how can you as a supplier stand out apart from the other suppliers and making it more convenient for them? Maybe it's the way you package the products. Maybe it's in your customer service and delivery and the way that you deliver the products to them. This is going to be key in winning jobs that you're bidding for by being able to show that you're different from the other suppliers in that aspect, and you're going to make it easier for them. Let's talk a little bit about garment selection for the event itself. I mentioned you're going to want to choose a value blank, so think of something that's a little bit less expensive, maybe a Hanes blank or a Gildan, or something that's a private label like the Port & Company line from Sanmar. You're going to want to keep the t-shirt or the bag very inexpensive, so usually 100% cotton or a 50-50 item will allow you to print for a lot of these events itself. When it comes to transfer selection or printing in general, this is mass production that we're talking about here. So we're looking at direct screen printing or screen printed transfers with a heat press. Both of these are going to allow you to be able to print for a lower cost and be able to print much more effectively and quicker than any other print technology because you're able to mass produce these items. So screen printed transfers and screen printing is definitely ideal, especially for the event itself t-shirts. When it comes to pricing, just remember to keep your value and your pricing low when you're showing the cost that you're going to be giving to the event. You'll likely be bidding against different suppliers for these types of garments and these types of jobs, so you want to make sure to be competitive in that. If your pricing tends to be a little bit higher, always make sure that you're delivering the value and showing them the value that they're getting from using you as a supplier. Again, maybe it's the way you package those products so it's easier for them to distribute at the event. Maybe it's in the way that you deliver. Maybe you plan to package them and deliver them and hand them out at the event themselves to save them from having to have extra staff. There's different ways to make your business stand apart in that way. The second opportunity that we're going to look at is one that really presents the greatest opportunity for high revenue returns, and that's going to be printing on-site at the event itself, or offering merchandise at the event or outside of the event to really commemorate and start to take in some revenue from the event that's happening in your local area. If this is a new opportunity and you're planning to do event printing or selling merchandise at the event, then you're obviously going to want to get buy-in from the event administrators. And so to do that, you may want to offer a kickback, so any merchandise that you sell, they can have a percentage of that sell as well, so that there's a benefit for them for you being there. If you're going to offer a kickback like that, I do recommend making sure that your pricing allows for that so that you're still able to make the profit that you want to make on each item while still giving them a percentage of your sale. When choosing garments for selling merchandise at an event, you don't want to have too many choices for them to choose from because you'll basically be selling to the participants that are at the music festival or at the walk or run. And so I want to choose 3 to 5 items that are going to be trendy and that are going to be more unique and really fit the event that I'm printing for. So if I'm printing for a walk or a run, I tend to go towards performance wear, maybe a t-shirt, a tank top, a sweatshirt, and a pair of shorts. If I'm printing for a really trendy music festival or a food festival, maybe I have a tri-blend t-shirt or something that tends to fit a juniors market if that's the clientele that's going to be there. I want to sell the blank in the apparel that the audience there wants to purchase. Once I have my 3 to 5 items selected, the next choice is going to be transfer selection. For on-site event printing, heat printing is a huge benefit because you can take a heat press, take your transfers, and be able to customize on demand. That way you don't have to hold a ton of pre-printed inventory, and it cuts your cost if for some reason the event has less of a turnout than expected. You don't get stuck with all those extra printed garments. So for this, I recommend either using screen printed transfers and taking those and printing them on site. They're very fast and easy to use. Another great opportunity is to offer on-site personalization. So imagine being a walk or a run and having the ability to put your name or your time on a bag or a t-shirt. To do this, you're going to want to use a vinyl cutter and heat transfer vinyl. That'll allow you to easily create the artwork, send it to the cutter, and customize. And you can do a quick turnaround there for them and sell it at a higher price because it's personalized and it's unique. It's something they cannot get at any other location and allows them to commemorate the event. For pricing strategy, when you're looking at selling in this method, first, if you're going to be selling this to the actual event staff, you want to make sure they're able to see a document that shows the profit that they're going to be able to get by having you at their location in a pop-up tent printing or selling merchandise. If you're selling this directly to those participants, then you're going to want to price these items a little bit higher because, of course, these are going to be higher end items and they're going to be on-demand printing, and so you're going to be offering something that they can't get anywhere else, and it's going to be kind of that really able to drive the price up because they're more likely to pay more at an event than they would be if they were in a local retail store purchasing something. Also, make sure that if you're having a booth display, that your pricing and your signage and your offerings are available. So if you're offering custom printing, make sure to broadcast that. That's a huge selling benefit. Also, make sure the pricing is easily able to see. Maybe display the garment designs that you have set up and display pricing with it. That way it's easy for the customer to make a buying decision and they don't feel that they have to ask or do any research to really see what it's going to cost them to purchase that item. To find customers for this type of location or for these types of sales opportunities, I recommend looking at a 90 to 120 mile radius of your local area, whether you're in a small town or a large city. Look for community events in the area. In most cities, especially larger cities, tend to have what they call a visit website, so it may be visitpittsburgh.com, where you can find all of their community events. So a quick Google search of community events in Indianapolis, Indiana could find me the community event website for that location. I can easily create my calendar for that. If you're looking towards walks and runs and that's the market that you want to go to, active.com also has a ton of ways for you to sort by city or mile radius and find the walks and runs that are going to be in your area. Again, from there, create your calendar and start to plan your approach for sales calls and packaging towards these markets. Community events, festivals, all of these create great opportunities for you to start diving in and making profit for ongoing revenue streams and for the event itself. So take a look at this growing market, and we'll see you on our next segment of 7 markets that you should be selling apparel to.